You need to change your mind's reaction. It's doing nothing for you. Here's the law, the love and attraction. I'll show you what I can do. You know you find a result now. You know just what to do.
Good morning, guys. I just thought we'd take you for a quick walk and talk through our summer garden, just to let you see what we're growing and what's going on here at the cottage. This one, as we're coming up to it, this is a very, very new garden bed. It's probably about 4 months old, but you wouldn't think of it through the growth. In here we've got cassava, chilli, sweet potato, and there's even some pineapple and pigeon pea as well. And this one has been set up. It was just on a bed of cardboard laid on the grass, and then horse manure piled up on top of there. You can see we have rosella as well. There's a jackfruit, and also the obligatory pumpkins, which are everywhere, and of course tomatoes. This is the Corimbia tiger carper, which is the swamp bloodwood, and it's what our property is named after. So some beautiful show of flowers and seeds on here. The native bees absolutely adore this plant once it comes out in flower. Now our veggie garden, or our Zone 1 garden, is around about 450 square metres worth of garden, and it feeds us for around about 90% of what we eat. So it goes very, very well for that. Here we have our capsicums. This is a bit of a newer idea. The capsicums we have in a wicking bed. We have a video on YouTube here on how to make a wicking bed like this. Now we have discovered with our capsicums, although they love the heat, they do not like the sun, and they get sunburnt fairly readily. So hence the shade cloth cover and the capsicums in there as well. You can see some nice new little capsicums there. Now we have found in our garden that although Bundaberg is a subtropical climate, we really get a better result out of growing tropical plants here. So more specifically the Asian greens. So in this one in particular, here we have the winged bean. You can see the flower there. Now all parts of the winged bean are used: the root, the leaves, the flower and the fruit. Now the flower, we have read that it's good for colouring, dyes and things like that as well. But these plants will grow prolifically, and hence the star pickets with a bit of baling twine strung across as a makeshift trellis for the plants themselves. And as you can see, they're making good use of it. Now, eggplants are another favourite in our garden. And here we have the big globe variety. And also further down, we have the pintong long, or the skinny Chinese eggplant variety. Now these things go really well in the summertime. Now we have some fantastic dishes like biryani banjan, that's an Afghani dish, and Chinese garlic eggplant. That is really nice. Now pigeon peas are all coming into harvest now. So we've got all of our pigeon peas on. So it's our job in the next couple of weeks to come through and harvest all of the pigeon peas. Another favourite in the garden in the summertime is the lemon basil, and then we have some Thai basil as well. So they go really well in summer. And right here we have some turmeric popping up from last year's crop. So there will always be some leftovers when you harvest your turmeric. You never get it all out of the ground. Now, our kale will grow through summer, although it is really heavily affected by caterpillar and and grasshoppers. So you have some Tuscan black and some curl. And in the background there you can see the pintang long, or the Chinese eggplant. You see it's quite skinny and it grows quite long as well. And down here is our oregano, so it's booming along at the moment. Along with all the food plants, we've got a lot of our plants going to flower. So this is more a walking onion, or a bit of a cross between a chive and a shallot. And it's booming up, flower spikes coming on, and flowers going out everywhere. And you can see the obligatory dandelions everywhere. So it's a job shortly to harvest dandelions and make some more dandelion coffee, which is another video that we've got on the channel as well. Coming up here, we've got some Madagascar beans. So these ones we've planted probably a year or two ago. So with the Madagascar beans, they have a pod like this, and they'll have 2 or 3 seeds to a pod, and you use the beans just like you would cannellini or black bean or any of the other dried beans around the place. So the seeds in the pod end up just like that, and you can store them as dried beans. Here's our raspberry booming away, so that will be fruiting up early in the new year. Now these bigger plants here are things that are very, very hard to get rid of in the garden if you plant them. It's Jerusalem artichokes, or fartichokes as everybody else knows them. Now they provide beautiful tubers, but there is a lot of inulin in the tubers, which tends to loosen up your bowels a little bit. Now, mixed in with our plantings of Jerusalem artichoke is also some okra. Now you see the okra here. The okra has a really, really beautiful flower. I really think it's very, very similar to a rosella flower when it comes out. So this will result in a long fruit, about you pick it when it's about the size of your fingers. And you can see down here, there's one of the fruits starting to form right there. Now, okra is an important vegetable for us over the summer period. A, because it likes the summer and it grows well, and B, because it's very plentiful and it's quite good for you as far as nutrient value is concerned as well. And here we have down here is sambung. So you can see we're an organic garden by the amount of caterpillar and grasshopper holes in the plants. You'll see here from an earlier video, this is where we planted our sweet potatoes for this year. So you can see the area is just taken off. It's got sweet potato vine. Another favourite of ours for the summer crop is also the purple snake bean. And you can see the same sort of system employed here, where we have the spikes or the sticks going up. In this case it's bamboo from our bamboo fence line, and then the plants really climb up that. And you can see here the seeds, or the flowers starting to form out for the snake bean. Like I said, these are a purple snake bean, and they grow around about 30 centimetres long, and they're very, very nice in your dishes. You can see we still have broccoli florets coming on in the garden as well. Now these florets will last over the whole summer period. So we have broccoli all through the summer. So we'll harvest the main head off when we first plant them. Then we keep the plant on board, and we'll see the florets come up and we harvest the florets as they arrive. Also using the edges and the verges as per the permaculture guides and principles. We have a Boothby's blonde cucumber growing on our fence. Now we've picked most of the cucumbers off this one, although there is one down low here which has got a little bit of a start on it there. You can see the society garlic is in bloom here. This is beautiful. It's a very, very nice, smooth garlic flavour when you put it in dishes. And the flowers are just gorgeous on it. And in the background we have some Lagos spinach, or celosia. And then followed up by our green beans and then corn. Now all of this is seed saved here locally on the block as well. And in the bare patch at the back, that's where our onions were, but all harvested now. Now, as you can see up here, is the first flower of our red dragon fruit for this year. So it shares a space with the corymbia as well. And all along the fence line, you can see the red dragon fruit there. So there'll be flowers popping out on these sides of things and getting ready to supply us with a ton of nice red dragon fruit. And everything is helped here by our little mates, the native bees. So they keep everything buzzing along and they're always really happy in their hive. On the left here is Peruvian ground apple, or yacon. So this is a second year growth for this plant. We haven't harvested the tubers from the last one, so it's good to go. So there'll be some large tubers in this for next year. And then we have our reed avocados. Now this is more a zone 2 area for the permaculture people out there. So this is more food forest, getting into that side of things. So probably zone 2 and zone 3. So Tahitian lime, papaya, and we're using the edges and the verges as well again. And this is gugusa, or New Guinea bean. You see the big vine climbing up the fence. Hi guys, that's the end of our summer kitchen garden tour, or our Zone 1 garden. Thanks very much for joining us on the little tour. Usually if we're on the ground here, this tour will take approximately 1 hour. Then with a further hour of tour through the Zone 2 and Zone 3, or the food forest and fruit garden. So I hope you enjoyed what we do here and figured out a little bit more about what to plant and how to plant it in and around the area. Okay, thanks very much guys. Remember, like, share and subscribe, and get this out and about to all your mates.
Baby, it's up to you, you gotta choose.